Few people ever stop to think about how strange the geography of Earth really is. Antarctica and Australia, two continents that seem to reflect each other in a distorted mirror. One is a white desert, covered in eternal ice, nearly impossible to access. The other is a red land scorched by the sun and filled with myths, a place you're technically allowed to travel freely, yet vast zones remain empty and abandoned, and people are advised not to enter them. Take a closer look. Antarctica is completely closed off to humanity. You can't just buy a ticket, fly there, and see what lies beyond the horizon. Everything is tightly controlled by international treaties. Now look at Australia, a massive continent, most of which is uninhabited. People are herded into cities along the coasts while the inland appears completely deserted. Only rare settlements exist, surrounded by miles of no man's land. The question arises on its own. Is this really just a coincidence? That two continents on opposite sides of the planet are both so strangely restricted, one by official bans, the other by invisible barriers. Why are these lands surrounded by so many legends and rumors? Why are stories of strange sightings, missing people, and unexplained anomalies always tied to them? And most interestingly, why are these questions almost never raised by official science? Antarctica and Australia feel like two cards from the same deck, two doors leading in different directions hidden from the average player. And once you start connecting the dots, it becomes clear. This isn't just geography. It's part of a larger game, the rules of which are never fully disclosed to us. One of the most absurd, yet most underrated facts is Australia's massive fences. We're told with a smile that these fences were built to stop the rabbit invasion. Millions of kilometers of desert, thousands of kilometers of wire mesh, all to stop a few fluffy animals. That alone sounds like a joke. But dig deeper, and the truth becomes clearer. This has nothing to do with rabbits. These fences are like invisible lines dividing the continent into permitted and forbidden zones. They don't so much protect farmland as they create a hidden access map. Places you can go and places you absolutely can't. Locals sometimes joke that beyond the fence lies the other Australia, a place even Australians themselves aren't allowed to enter. And strangely, it's not just rumors. There are far too many cases of people venturing into the heart of the continent and disappearing without a trace. The official stories are always the same. Got lost in the desert, died of thirst, couldn't handle the heat. But when you gather all these stories, there are just too many missing people for it to be a coincidence. There's even an unspoken warning. Don't go where the fences begin because beyond them other laws apply. Laws no one talks about. Laws that don't seem to belong to any government, but to something bigger. And if you look at the map, it becomes obvious. These borders aren't random, they seem to form a pattern, a hidden structure. An invisible grid laid over the continent. You start to wonder, maybe Australia isn't just a country. Maybe it's part of a massive system we simply can't see. Now let's turn to Antarctica. It's not just a chunk of ice at the edge of a map. It's possibly the greatest mystery on the planet. Officially, we're told there are no countries there, no armies, no economy. Just scientific stations studying climate, ice, and penguins. Sounds harmless enough. But try to go there yourself, and you'll hit a wall of restrictions. Every flight, every attempt to approach the inner regions of the continent requires strict approval. And even if you miraculously get permission, you'll be under constant supervision. One wrong move and someone will appear to remind you of your boundaries. And here comes the key question. Why is the level of secrecy on this frozen, uninhabited continent higher than anywhere else in the world? Why is Antarctica protected by an international treaty signed by dozens of nations? And why are they all silently complying? Those who've been on expeditions sometimes let things slip, unofficially, of course, in conversations that are quickly erased from records and memory. They talk about seeing walls of ice as tall as skyscrapers, ice that doesn't look natural, but rather like it was artificially constructed, like a massive fortress. Others claim there are tunnels deep within the continent, long, perfectly straight tunnels leading into the heart of Antarctica, tunnels that can't be explained by natural processes. They look like someone long ago built infrastructure here. But who and why? There are even rumors that some of these tunnels lead to underground cities or something resembling ancient mechanisms. And every time you hear one of these stories, you begin to realize Antarctica isn't just ice. It's a library of secrets, locked away from humanity. And now we reach the most interesting part. Two lands that seem to have nothing in common turn out to be linked by a single code. Australia and Antarctica, opposites in climate, one scorched by the sun, the other buried under ice. And yet, their functions are oddly similar: to hide. Australia hides its inner lands behind strange fences and closed zones. Antarctica hides entire worlds behind walls of ice. And when you start putting the puzzle together, it becomes clear these are not just continents, they are doors. Two entrances to the same system. Local legends and travelers' tales all point to the same thing. Australia and Antarctica seem to mirror each other. One is a door to the sun, the other, a door to the dark. And the deeper you dive into the coincidences, the more it feels like this isn't just about geography. It's about the structure of the matrix. Whispers that have been around for decades claim Antarctica is the northern portal, Australia, the southern. 2 points that hold the planet's balance. 2 nodes in the global code. Without them, the system may glitch. The only real question is, what happens if one of those doors opens too wide? What will break out, or worse, what will break in? When you look at the full picture, you can't shake the feeling. We're not being kept away from the land or the ice. We're being kept away from the knowledge, as if the system is protecting its most vulnerable codes. And so the question sharpens. What's behind the fences and ice walls? What are we not supposed to see? Some researchers say there are gateways to other worlds there, portals that lead beyond the reality we know. Others insist that under the ice of Antarctica and beneath the red soil of Australia lie the remains of ancient civilizations, so ancient that they existed long before the official story of humanity was written. And here begins the true mystical madness. People who've joined expeditions or worked in research groups tell strange things. Some saw shadows, always at the edge of vision, never quite visible but always felt. Others speak of flashes in the skies above Antarctica, sharp, silent rips, as if space itself had been sliced from within. Some even say the sky opened for a second, and beyond it was a darkness too thick, too alien to be just cloud. Australia has its mysteries too. Travelers report hearing a hum, as if the earth itself were breathing beneath their feet. Footsteps echo where sand should swallow all sound. The wind carries voices, no clear words, only emotion, so real, it chills your spine. And then it clicks. The fences and the ice, they're just the outer layer. The real secret lies deeper, where shadows step across boundaries and watch whoever dares to come close. What if Australia and Antarctica aren't just 2 landmasses on a map? What if they're 2 keys to the same door? 2 access points, connecting something far beyond continents. We've been taught to think of Earth as just land and sea. But what if Earth is a system, one with keys, passwords, and permissions? Think about it. Some places are open, you can go freely. But others are surrounded by fences, laws, and old stories. They say, don't go there. It's just desert. It's just ice. And yet, isn't it strange that those are the places with the most mystery, the most disappearances, the most legends? Australia and Antarctica seem like opposites. Heat and cold. Life and emptiness. But at their core, they may share the same code. It's as if the system placed them at opposite ends of the planet to hold something in balance. And we, ordinary players, only see the front stage, rabbits, glaciers, fences, research stations. But sometimes the system glitches, and then regular people start to notice. Someone sees shadows on the edge of vision. Someone hears the strange hum in the desert. Someone stumbles upon closed routes that officially don't exist. In those moments we realize the world isn't what they teach in school. Reality whispers, there are doors, but you are not meant to open them. Yet. And that brings us to the final question. What if one of us finds both keys? Thank you for staying with me through the end of this conversation. You are the ones who search, the ones who dare to ask, to see beyond what's shown. These stories exist for people like you. Remember, every glance, every thought unlocks a deeper level of awareness. And if you've watched this video to the end, you're already one step closer to seeing reality for what it truly is. Take care, stay conscious, and I'll see you in the next video.